The scent of polished mahogany and expensive cologne greets me as I step through the glass doors of Morgan Industries, a full 30 minutes early. The quarterly board meeting isn't scheduled until 9, but something about my father's tight tone on the phone yesterday has left me restless. He'd said it was just a routine discussion about budget allocations, but I know him too well. His clipped words carried a weight that kept me awake most of the night. The executive floor stretches before me, hushed and pristine. The cream-colored carpet swallows my footsteps, the walnut paneling gleams under soft lighting, and every wall is lined with portraits of Morgans who came before me. Generations of stern faces watch me pass as if judging whether I am worthy of the family legacy. My simple charcoal pantsuit suddenly feels inadequate, a sharp reminder that I've always been more at home in a research lab than these glossy corridors of power. As I near the boardroom, faint voices carry through the slightly open door. I slow my pace, my breath caught in my throat. "Just sign here, William," an unfamiliar voice urges. "TechCore is ready to wire the funds as soon as we close." My father's voice answers, deep and unmistakable. $3.5 million is robbery considering what we've put into that division. Then comes the voice I know too well, Victoria. Smooth, confident, laced with condescension. "It's more than fair for unproven technology. Better to cut our losses now." My stomach drops. They're talking about me. My division. My research. I push the door open, the hinges whining softly, and 4 heads snap toward me. My father sits at the head of the table, his Italian suit perfectly pressed. Beside him, Victoria gleams in her signature red blazer, lips curved in a smug smile. James, my brother, hunches in his chair, staring at the table as if wishing to vanish. Across from them, a thin man in spectacles clutches a stack of contracts. A paper slides across the polished table toward me. My eyes catch the bold words. Quantum Stability Division Asset Transfer Agreement. Victoria snatches it away before I can reach it, but the damage is done. I've seen enough. The words burst out of me, raw and disbelieving. "You're selling my life's work without even telling me." My father adjusts his cufflinks, expression carefully neutral. "Your little science project has cost this company millions, Elizabeth. 6 years of funding with nothing concrete to show. It's time to move on." Nothing concrete. My hands tremble, but my voice sharpens. "We achieved quantum stability at room temperature for 17 minutes. Do you have any idea what that means?" Victoria laughs, brittle and cold. "Basement tinkering. Promises that never materialize. TechCore is generous to even show interest." James avoids my gaze, eyes fixed on his polished shoes. His silence cuts deeper than Victoria's ridicule. For a moment I falter. Then Grandma's voice echoes in my mind, as vivid as the day she whispered it to me before she passed. "Don't let them stop you, Lizzie. I've made sure you're protected." My breath steadies. I square my shoulders, lift my chin, and drop my words like a stone in the quiet room. "You might want to check the ownership of those patents before you sign anything." Confusion flickers across my father's face. Victoria freezes mid-smirk, pen poised above the signature line. Even James looks up, startled. I turn and walk out, closing the door gently behind me. The soft click echoes like thunder in the silence I've left behind. The battle lines are drawn. The war has just begun. Morning sunlight cuts across my bedroom like a cruel spotlight, warm against my skin yet heavy with mockery. I should feel alive, rested, but instead my chest aches with the echo of last night's confrontation. My phone vibrates on the nightstand. A flood of notifications blares across the screen. Headlines, emails, clipped soundbites. Morgan heiress unstable. Company forced to take action. The PR team has wasted no time. They've painted me as irrational, reckless, unfit. My family hasn't just tried to sell my work. They've already begun dismantling my reputation. Sharp knock jolts me. I shuffle to the door, and there they are. Margaret Wheaton, my sharp-eyed lawyer friend, and Dr. Thomas Reynolds, my steadfast research partner. They sweep in with an urgency that sets my pulse racing. Margaret doesn't waste words. "Lizzie, we found something. You need to see this." Within minutes, my coffee table is covered in damning evidence. Emails, meeting minutes, altered presentations, even my stolen algorithms. Each document is a knife, every page proof of betrayal stretching back years. My father had quietly blocked funding requests, while Victoria had stolen my breakthroughs, dressing them up as her own and parading them before TechCore. Margaret's voice cuts like a blade. "Your sister's been presenting your work as hers. She's pocketed bonuses, awards, credibility. Built an empire on your discoveries." My throat tightens. I glance at Thomas, who nods gravely, eyes filled with equal parts guilt and determination. "I should have seen it sooner. I should have stopped it," he murmurs. Anger flares inside me, hot and sharp, but beneath it something steadier begins to take root. Strength. Resolve. My grandmother's trust ensured the patents were mine alone. No matter what stories my family spins, the law and the science are on my side. Margaret taps the pile of evidence. "We have what we need. The question is, do you want to fight?" For the first time in days, I smile. More than ever. An hour later, the three of us stride into the boardroom without invitation. Heads snap up as we enter. My father's eyes narrow to slits. Victoria leans back in her chair with that infuriating smirk, and the rest of the board watches like an audience bracing for scandal. I drop the evidence onto the polished table with a satisfying thud. Margaret takes the lead, her voice steady and precise. "These patents belong solely to Elizabeth Morgan. Any attempt to sell them without her consent constitutes corporate fraud." Victoria scoffs, flipping her hair with exaggerated disdain. "This is ridiculous. Elizabeth hides in her lab while I've built the company's image. She doesn't understand the first thing about running a business." Thomas steps forward, producing printed emails. "These are direct records of you claiming Elizabeth's work as your own. The timestamps don't lie." For the first time, the smirk falters. A senior board member, gray-haired and stern, leans forward. His frown deepens. "If these allegations hold, William, an internal investigation will be unavoidable." My father shifts uncomfortably, his certainty cracking. For once, he doesn't have a rehearsed dismissal. I meet his gaze, voice unwavering. "Grandmother believed in me when you didn't. That's why she left the patents in my name. She knew this day would come." When we leave, the air behind us buzzes with unease. The war isn't over, but for the first time I'm not fighting it alone. The retaliation is swift. By noon, my keycard no longer works. Security escorts me from the building as if I were a stranger. My inbox floods with sterile notices. Suspension pending review, unauthorized access flagged, ongoing investigation. Within hours, the media echoes the smear campaign. Headlines branding me unstable, irresponsible, dangerous. For a heartbeat, despair crushes me. I sit in the silence of my apartment, the city lights blinking outside like indifferent stars. They want me erased, forgotten. Then a knock. When I open the door, my team stands there, arms full of boxes, laptops, notebooks, and hard drives. Simone, my lead analyst, pushes through first. Her eyes are bright with defiance. "We've been backing up everything." Quietly. "We knew something was coming." She holds up a small black flash drive, gleaming between her fingers. This is our newest breakthrough. Quantum stability for 30 minutes. They don't even know it exists. The tears come fast, blurring my vision. Not weakness, never weakness, but the sharp, overwhelming weight of loyalty. TechCore had dangled fortunes in front of them, whispered promises of cushy positions and limitless resources. And yet they all stayed. "We're with you, Lizzie," Simone says. "To the end." For the first time all week, I believe I might actually win. Later that evening, another knock. When I open the door this time, it's James. His suit is rumpled, his eyes hollow, shame written across every line of his face. For a moment, he can't even look at me. "I knew," he whispers finally. I knew Victoria was stealing your work. I saw the files. I was too afraid to stand up to them. I want to lash out, to spit the years of silence back in his face. But then he slides a folder across my kitchen counter. Inside, reports, projections, empty frameworks labeled as Victoria's division deliverables. All of it hollow. All of it stolen. She's built nothing of her own, he admits. It's all you. Every word. Every formula. I can't stay silent anymore. For the first time, James chooses truth over fear. And with it, another piece falls into place. That night, while combing through my grandmother's old papers, I find something else. A document I'd never noticed. A single clause tucked deep within the company charter. Article 16. My breath catches as I read. If William Morgan, or any executive, attempts to appropriate Elizabeth Morgan's work without her consent, the controlling shares shall automatically redistribute among independent board members. Safeguard. Hidden in plain sight. A final gift from the woman who had believed in me when no one else did. Now, with Simone's drive, James's documents, Margaret's legal firepower, and grandmother's ironclad amendment, I can feel the tide shifting. The weight of legacy, betrayal, and expectation presses down on me, but beneath it thrums something stronger. Not fear. Not despair. Strength. Tomorrow we face the board. And this time I will not stand alone. The next morning the boardroom feels different. Not because of the gleaming table or the tall glass windows opening onto the skyline, but because the silence belongs to me. Yesterday I was an intruder in this room. Today I am the storm they cannot ignore. I set my files on the table, calm but deliberate. Margaret places the legal documents beside me, and Simone slides the flash drive into the projector. The screen fills with graphs, data, and projections. Our latest results, undeniable and dazzling. Then I speak, my voice steady. Not only do I hold the patents to quantum stability, but I've already received licensing offers. The lowest begins at $4.2 billion. This is not a cost center. This is the future. A ripple moves through the room. Board members shift in their seats, murmuring. Suddenly my father's empire, the skyscrapers, the steel, the old world contracts, seems small beside the revolution glowing on the screen. Victoria tries to cut in, her fury breaking through her polished facade. This is smoke and mirrors. Elizabeth is exaggerating. Without Morgan Industries, she's nothing. Before she can continue, James speaks. For once, his voice doesn't tremble. No, Victoria. She's everything you pretended to be. I've seen your division's reports. Empty frameworks, stolen work, false projections. You built nothing. And you lied to all of us. The room stills. I watch the directors' faces one by one. Doubt hardens into recognition. And then allegiance begins to shift. The silver-haired director, who has remained silent until now, leans forward. His voice carries the weight of judgment. The evidence is clear. Elizabeth Morgan is the rightful head of the Quantum Stability Division. Effective immediately, control transfers to her. It is done. My father bristles, his threats sharp and familiar, but they no longer pierce me. Victoria spits venom, but it no longer wounds. I feel the weight lift, replaced with something radiant and solid. For the first time I stand not in their shadow but in my own light. As I gather my files, my team rises with me. Side by side we walk out of the boardroom. The echoes of my grandmother's voice linger. Don't let them stop you, Lizzie. True legacy is not built on manipulation, greed, or hollow power. It is built on integrity, on resilience, and on loyalty that no amount of money can buy. Betrayal may scar, but courage and truth can transform those wounds into strength. This revolution was never about revenge. It was about reclaiming dignity, honoring vision, and proving that determination, when rooted in integrity, cannot be silenced. And as I step into the future, I know my grandmother was right. They didn't stop me. They never will.